Gulliver's Travel as a satire, written by Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift is one of the famous satirists of the Restoration Age, which is the age of satire. His satire is not mild but biting and scathing. His main weapons of satire are humor and irony. Gulliver's Travels is one of Swift's satirical novel. It contains pungent satire with which he vexed the world. The novel remains a masterpiece of social and political satire. However, the novel is not a direct attack on society but is an allegorical piece of satire. Before going to discuss the satire in the novel, I would like to introduce you about this novel. Gulliver's Travels is Swift's best fictional work, which was published in 1726 under the title of Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World by Samuel Gulliver. The book contains 4 parts, each dealing with one particular voyage, during which Gulliver meets with extraordinary adventures on some remote island after he has met with shipwreck of piracy of some other misfortune. Now I explain shortly the 4 parts of the novel. Part 1 is about a voyage to Lilliput. Part 2 is about a voyage to Brobdingnag. Part 3 is about a voyage to Laputa, Balnibarbi, Glubbdubdrib, Luggnagg and Japan. Part 4 is about a voyage to country of the Hums. Thus this novel contains these 4 parts. Gulliver's Travels is the story of Lemuel Gulliver and his voyages around the world. Prefaced by 2 letters attesting to the truth of the tales, the adventures are told by Gulliver after his return home from his final journey. Gulliver's Travels is one of Swift's satirical novel. It contains very pungent satire with which he vexed the world. The novel remains a masterpiece of political and social satire. However, the novel is not a direct attack on society but an allegorical piece of satire. The satires in the novel are as follows. Now I turn towards the political satire. In the first part of the novel, Swift satirizes political issues. Lilliput allegorically stands for England. Flimnap stands for Robert Walpole. Dancing on the fight ropes symbolizes Walpole's skill in parliamentary tactics and political. Gulliver's satire becomes quite amusing when he speaks about the conflict between the big Indians and the little Indians in Lilliput. Here, the novelist Jonathan Swift, through the medium of Gulliver, ridicules the conflict between the Roman Catholics and the Protestants, which were the 2 parties of England. In part 2, Gulliver tells us about the king of Brobdingnag. He tells the king about wars, trade, politics and religion in England. The king calls human beings insects. Here Gulliver attacks the political pride of people. The king also says that the history of Gulliver's country is a series of conspiracies, rebellions, murders, etc. This is the bitterest satire on English Parliament and Court of Justice. The king also hates the use of gunpowder and books on government. He comments that the only reason and justice are sufficient for a government. In part 3, Swift satirizes theoreticians and academics. Many projects are started in Lagado, but all of them failed. This is the satire on society in England. The Swift also attacks on the English system of administration, the rule of the flying islands that calls as a Laputa, On the land below stands for the rule of England on Ireland from long distance. In part 4, Swift satirizes the deadly weapons used in Europe. Gulliver tells the king of the country about wicked lawyers of his country. Swift's attack on evils of war. Then he attacks on the vices like drinking, gambling, robbery. Here, Gulliver's account of the corruption and the political life in his country is a bitter criticism of political life, including the corrupt ministers of his time. Apart from political issues, Swift satirizes social institutes and even human beings in general. In part 2 and part 3, Swift attacks human pride. As compared to the people of Brobdingnag, human beings are insects by size and by behavior. Then the sin of the beggars is horrible. Here, Swift satirizes the beggars of Dublin. He also hints at the ugliness of human body. However, the bitterest satire in part 2 is when the king blames the human beings for their hatred, cruelty, and evil behavior. In this way, Gulliver's Travels contains both comic and critical satire. However, like a true satirist, Swift has a reformative purpose of correcting the people, but he was doubtful whether he would succeed. The fact becomes clear from Swift's letter to Alexander Pope. In that letter, he wrote that the purpose of writing Gulliver's Travels was to vex the world rather than divert it. Thus, the present novel Gulliver's Travels, containing the satire, and remains a great masterpiece in the world of literature. Thank you.